We're here in Migori, Kenya, which is on the western side of Africa, not too far from the Kenya-Tanzania border. This is going to be our home base for the majority of our mission, except for during week 2 when we go to actually minister on the border town of Hispania. I've been a missionary and I've seen a lot of what I would call bad short-term missions. It's basically tourism in Jesus' name, and that's not what we're doing. There are a lot of times church groups just get all excited about going overseas, and that what they do is they go over and they do building projects. It may come as a shock to you, but going overseas to build buildings and those kind of things isn't necessarily a kingdom mission, even if you're doing it to help other churches and things like that. In any third world country, they have got the labor on hand to be able to build buildings. If you just take the money that you're using on plane tickets and give that money to them for them to steward, they could have built 5 buildings. So why is it that we're here in Kenya to do this mission instead of some other country in the world? Well, one, this is where I have a personal relationship with a man of God that I know, trust, and can work with. 2, the West has taught the African church that not only do we need to believe in Jesus, we also need to believe that God somehow needs a special building, that we need to manipulate God's people in order to get them to finance the building, that the ministers are the one who are entrusted with the ministry instead of having the role of equipping the saints to do the work of ministry, and that ministry is primarily done on a church campus apart from the rest of life, instead of making disciples who walk in the fullness of Jesus Christ wherever they go. And that's what we're here, is to equip them to be able to walk in the fullness of Jesus Christ and to make disciples off campus, so that everyone who is a believer, who is born again, can walk in the authority and the fullness of Jesus and be a disciple maker. Whether they can sing or whether they can preach, they have a purpose, and that's to know Jesus Christ, to walk in His fullness, and to make disciples who can do the same. And if someone won't come and show them how to do that, they won't be able to do that. Right now, Africa is in a crisis because Islam is pushing down from the north and seeking to overrun the church, because, as some have described it, the church in Africa is a mile wide and an inch deep. And the reason it's an inch deep is because we have only given them a gospel to barely get them in the door of the kingdom. We've taught them how to pray a prayer of salvation so that they can go to heaven when they die, but we've never taught them how to walk in the authority and the power of that salvation so that they can release heaven on earth even now. And that's why we're here. So what we're going to be doing is taking them through the process of kingdom discipleship. We don't try to tear down anything that they're doing. My basic philosophy is that most people who are born again are seeking to do the best they can with what they've been shown. We're not here to give them new church programs. We're not here to give them any money. We're not here to give them anything except Jesus Christ, Him crucified, risen, and indwelling, and show them how to use and to release what they've already received when they were born again. We're also not here to give them Western culture. In fact, one of the things that we do is that we do our best to set them free from their enslavement to the West and its ways of doing churchianity instead of doing authentic kingdom Christianity. Before missionaries came, there was not a suit or a tie in this country. There wasn't a special set of religious buildings. We're the ones who taught them the ridiculous idea that God requires special buildings to be worshiped in. And because of the poverty in this country, so many men and women will not go into a church building because they know that as soon as they do, they're going to be pressured to give money out of their wallet when they can barely scrape by as it is. So we will teach them about walking in the fullness of Jesus Christ. We're gonna show them and take them with us so that they can see how we do it. Then we're also gonna have them do it while we are with them. And then we're gonna send them out on their own so that they can do the works apart from us. And then we release them so that they can carry on with what we have entrusted to them. So what can happen here? What can 9 white Mzungus do in Africa in 3 weeks? Or a better question is, what can God do through us?
If you're enjoying these Full Speed blogs, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. Thanks a lot.